Hi there, my name's Danielle. Welcome to Yoga Restore today. So Yoga Restore is a wonderful practice where the focus and intention is on relaxation, stretching tight muscles such as the hips, the legs, the back, and just really focusing on the relaxation element of yoga. So I'm glad that you could join me today. Today we'll be utilizing some blocks just to show you how a couple ways you could use them. So all you'll need are 2 yoga blocks if you have them and a yoga mat. If you do not have blocks, no problem. You can do these asanas, these postures without them. So just definitely go at your own pace and just really focus on relaxation. So go ahead and roll out your mat and we will get started. I hope that you enjoy today's class. So once you get your yoga mat rolled out, we'll go ahead and take a few minutes to settle in and check in with how we're doing today. So the focus of our practice today is the concept of letting go. So I just want you to take a moment and think about these words. What does it mean to let go? Is there anything in your day, in this moment, that you could let go of? With this intention in mind, as we flow through our asanas, our postures today, we'll just keep that intention and focus just on the physical realm, thinking about releasing tight muscles, releasing tension and stress. But I would encourage you as well to think about it on more of a mental or emotional level. So settling in, you may begin your practice today seated, or if you like, if you're very tired, sometimes lying down is a really nice way to unwind. We're going to take a few moments, and if it feels right for you, you can gently close your eyes or find a soft focus. We're going to take a few moments to focus on our breathing. You do not have to look at the screen at this time. But instead, I would really invite you to turn off any distractions, such as a cell phone, or just put things aside for a few moments as you start to tune in and focus on your breathing. So take a few moments and slowly begin to deepen the breath, breathing in through your nose. And exhale through the nose or mouth. Let the exhale be long. Breathing in and out. To help facilitate this focus on the breath, today we will try an exercise called counting the breaths, where I'm going to invite you to breathe in to a count of 4. And exhale to a count of 6. So you may begin this in your own time if this is right for you. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and complete a couple more rounds of this counting the breaths exercise, going at your own speed. Good. Complete perhaps one more round of counting the breaths, breathing in and out. Very good. Now you may start to very slowly open your eyes if you wish. Just bringing the gaze to a soft focus, taking a moment for you. And I just want you to take a moment and notice where there may be physical tension in the body today. We'll take a moment and just observe. Do you feel any tension in the shoulders or perhaps the facial muscles or jaw? Each time you breathe, notice how the belly, the ribs, the chest expand, and just allow that breath to travel all the way down to the belly. Notice if you feel any tension or tightness in the low back. And with that intention of letting go, make a commitment for this next while to start to relax these areas. Good. All right, so if you were laying down or in another position, I invite you at this time to come to a comfortable cross-legged seat. And let's go ahead and begin with some lovely head and neck stretches today. So again, we will be utilizing 2 yoga blocks for a portion of this class if you do have them. So let's go ahead and just begin by giving yourself some nice, relaxing shoulder rolls up and back. Up, back, down. Just start to observe the breath and body, using our mindfulness and being present to just let your thoughts come and go. There's no need to control. Just allow them to be. Remember that whatever you have to do can wait until after class. All right, take 1 or 2 more gentle shoulder rolls. Good. Awesome. And then let's do 3 shoulder shrugs together. So bring your hands down by your sides. You're going to take a nice big inhale in through your nose, scrunch your shoulders up tight, and then we're going to exhale and drop. And I want you to exhale out through the mouth. So we breathe in, scrunch everything tight. Exhale. Let it go. Let's try that 2 more times. Big inhale brings shoulders to the ears. Inhale in and exhale. Drop it down. Good. 1 last time. Big inhale, shoulders to ears. Scrunch everything up tight. And exhale. Let it go. Good. Really feel that difference between that tension and letting go. Let's go ahead and take some nice, very gentle head rotational movements. So we'll take our chin to our shoulder, over towards one shoulder. And you can play around for a moment. Perhaps it feels good to take the ear to the shoulder and then maybe the chin. So just take a moment on this side. Plane. Good. This lateral flexion just to move the head. Good. And now from that side we were just working, let's take the chin to the chest and just take a moment to move the head a little bit here. It's always important when working with the head and neck not to overdo, but do feel free if it feels right for you. You can place a hand very gently on the top of the head. And just breathe in and out, using this time for free form movement. Big inhale and exhale. And now let's take that head over to the other shoulder. So maybe chin to that shoulder. Take a moment, notice where the neck is tight, and then play around with putting the ear to the shoulder. Really releasing any tension you might be holding on to. Take a big inhale and exhale. And slowly allow the head to come up, moving as you see fit. Excellent work. Let's go ahead and go into some nice spinal twists. So from our comfortable seated position, take a big inhale, exhale, twist one way, gently contract your abs in, picturing the visual of the abs contracting in like you're squeezing or wringing out a sponge. Big inhale and exhale, and then try your twist to the other direction. Really good. Let's do this one more time. Big inhale, exhale, twist. Nice, and other side. Really good, come back to center. And now let's take a few moments to loosen up our legs and hips. So you can bring your legs out in front of you and just windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Making things nice and relaxed and calm. Let's take a moment and wiggle our toes, circle your ankle, working out the little cracks and creaks of those delicate foot and ankle bones. Good. If you're doing circles one way, try the other way. Point and flex. Really good. All right, from here, to help release that low back, we're going to take and bend our knees slightly. And then I just want you to relax and let the body kind of melt forward over these bent knees. I'll show you from the side. So sometimes we're a little more active in a pose where we're arching forward, really adding extension to the body. For this exercise, I really just want you to see how much you can relax. So just kind of let the body hang. We're looking for an opening between the scapulae, the shoulders, and a little bit of a stretch in our low back here. And we're going to hang out here for a few breaths. If you would like to, I want you to play around with your foot placement. Your knees can start to straighten down very slowly with the body coming along. So try to comfortably, as we breathe here, allow the chest to be close to, almost resting on our quads and on our legs. Let's take 3 breaths, just really letting that back open up and let go. Good. One last breath here. Notice as you start to release into the pose, how you might naturally start to allow the body to float down, how you start to go deeper into the pose naturally. Your body weight starts to relax down. Now, if your back is super tight here and you're having any challenges with this, remember, if you do have blocks, you can relax on the block. Sometimes I like to place a block between the knees and just use it as a pillow. Just remember, the blocks are there to help you at any time. Good. Slowly, slowly start to come up. And then I just invite you to come to bound angle, bringing soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall, fold the body forward. Good, and relax. All right. From your bound angle, we're going to work into our hip and just move a little bit more now. So I invite you to go ahead and take one leg in, one leg out. We're going to do both sides, so it does not matter which side. Let's go ahead and flex the foot. We're going to take our opposite arm up and over. And just enjoy this nice stretch. Big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Good. From here, big inhale, arm reaches up. And then we're going to lift our hip. So place that hand you just took over the head right behind your hip and lift the hip up. And I really want you to press this hip forward here as you reach up towards your ceiling. Good. Awesome. So from here, take that hand that's down on the ground and place it right by your knee. And we're going to come into a modified side plank here. A quick word about your hand. Your palm can be flat, like I'm demonstrating here, fingers spread wide, or if you have any wrist challenges, wrist pain, you can make a little fist. That is completely fine as well. So we're reaching here in our modified side plank. And from here, I want you to imagine you're taking that top arm is going to pull you all the way up, and you're going to stretch over that extended leg. So just take a moment. Your gaze may be towards the screen or up towards your hand, the ceiling, if that feels right for you. Feel that great stretch right here in our inner thigh. And just breathe. Good. Last breath here. And big inhale, come on back down, back to our modified side plank. And if you'd like to take that foot, you can off of the ground and just wiggle those toes, circle the ankle, a little bit of a balance here. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and relax it down, and we're just gonna switch sides. So one leg in, other leg out. Let's go ahead and flex that foot that's extended out. And from here, take your opposite arm up and over. Good. Notice, where does this stretch the body? Where are your muscles tight today? Big inhale and exhale. Relax the muscles of the face and jaw. And then go ahead, place your hand right behind your hip, and we're gonna lift up. So slightly different than our side plank, which we'll go to in a minute. We wanna press the hips forward here. Yep. So that we get a little bit of a stretch in the front of the hip. It's a very, very gentle slight back bend here. Good. And then from here, let's translate this over into modified side plank by lining up our hand with the knee. You can always adjust your leg, make this work for you. And then from here, we've got that nice extension, and we're going to use that hand that's up towards the ceiling to pull us all the way up and stretch over that extended leg to the other side. You can look up towards that ceiling. Good. And notice if this leg is different than side one. Just enjoy that stretch. Big inhale, let it go. Really good. One last breath here. Good. All right, friends, let's go ahead, come on up. Place that hand by the knee, find your modified side plank again. And if you would like, go ahead and lift that foot up, circle the ankle point and flex the foot. Good. Awesome. And then let's bring that all down. Let's draw the knee in. Let's come to a child's pose. So I'll turn to the side, open the knees wide, hands forward, and just stretch those hips back. And you can take a few moments here to relax. If you do have your block and you'd like to use it here, you can take it, set it up on the high edge and use it as a little pillow for your forehead, massaging that third eye region. There's a lot of different options here. You can put it down lower, make a little pillow for your hands. You can even, if it helps, sometimes place it right above the belly, right underneath the chest. There's a lot of options here to make child's pose more accessible or relaxing for you. So just go ahead, if you do have a block, play around with that. We'll take 2 breaths in your child's pose. Great. So you can relax here in child's pose. This is a great restorative pose, something that you can enjoy whenever you're feeling a lot of physical or mental tension. It's a great pose to go to. So let's go ahead and move on to our tabletop position, hands and knees here, Varmanasana. And we're going to start to warm up our legs again. So I want you to kick back your right leg. And then today we're going to work a little bit with balance. So take your left arm out. Good. And then here, just to kind of connect with the body more, please engage your core. And then we're just going to lift little pulses here. So I want you to try to keep your back still. Just arm and leg are moving. We'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and bring that hand and foot down. And then from here, we're going to do the other side. But before we do, I want to get into that spine a little bit more. So we're going to be drawing circles with our torso. I'll show you from the side and the front. We're going to shift our hips over to the right, come back to the heels, shift the hips over to the left, and come forward. So we're drawing a circle with our hips, getting into that side body a little bit. So give it a try at home. Draw around and up. Be mindful of your knees. You can always make a little fold in the mat or have a cushion or towel under the knees if you ever feel any discomfort there. Let's do 3 more circles in this direction and then we'll switch directions. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then whenever you're ready, switch the direction of your circle. Circle around. You can even close your eyes if you'd like during this activity. It's more about getting into tight areas and what feels good to your body right now than having it look exactly like mine does. All right, 3 more circles. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And just be mindful, observe and be aware. Where are those tight spots in the body? Good. Giving yourself the attention that you need and deserve. Let's go ahead and take our left leg out behind us. Maybe take a moment, circle the ankle, and let's go for that balance on the other side. So we'll take our right hand out, so left leg out, flex the foot, right hand out. Abs are engaged here, and then we're gonna pulse it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really nice. Tuck the legs in and let's find that child's pose once more. Stretch it back, taking your variation here. So we're going to play with the blocks for just a moment. We'll be on the knees just for one more little segment. We're going to be playing with Camel Pose, which is a great back bend, but also a great stretch for our hips. So sending those hips back, coming forward. Let's tuck our toes, find that tabletop position again. And then I want you to grab one block and place it right back behind you, right in between your heels, right in between that ankle area. So there's a lot of different versions we can do of camel pose. Let's start off with the most basic. I want you to put your hands right in the small of your back. And then before we bend anything really with the spine, I would invite you to press your hips forward slightly. So I like to tell people with camel pose that it's less of a back bend, it's more of a pressing forward from the hips, hinging forward from the hips. So hands in the small of the back here, take a big breath, feel like you're opening that chest, really expanding the lungs, and you're gonna press those hips forward. Good. Remember to breathe, don't feel like you need to overdo. Wherever you are at in this journey is okay. Good. All right, from here, we're gonna do that 2 more times. Now we're gonna reach for the block and we will back bend a little bit more, but again, I really would invite you, don't compress the back, think about that pressing forward with the hips. So we're gonna take our left hand up, we're gonna look towards our hand, press those hips forward, and then very gentle back bend. Now, if you can, and it feels accessible to you, I will encourage you right here to see if you can reach and touch that block. Look up towards your hand, press the hips forward. Good. One last breath here. Awesome. Come on up, hands to the small of the back, and let's just switch sides. So opening that chest, start with that press with the hips forward, and then take that right hand up, look towards your hand, and find your camel pose variation on this side. Look up towards that hand. Take a big inhale and exhale. Press those hips forward. And relax, come up. Good, we're gonna do it one last time, and yogi's choice. You can go for full camel back bend, reaching both hands to your ankle here. You can do one side or the other. You can do hands at the small of the back, or you can fold over into child's pose. That's where we'll go next. So here we go, big inhale. Find your camel pose on this side. One last breath in your posture of choice. Awesome. And then we'll go ahead, we'll remove our block and relax in child's pose to counter pose that. Rest your forehead on a block or the mat. And if you'd like, bring your hands down by your sides, resting the top of the head on the mat for a variation off of child's pose called rabbit pose. Feel that rounding in the spine, really releasing any tension you could be experiencing in that low back. Take one last breath in your pose here. All right, good job. Let's go ahead and start to come up. Remember, you can take a break, you can drink water, anything you like at any time during this practice. We're going to alternate between downward facing dog pose, into plank, and cobra pose, just a couple times to loosen things up. So whenever you're ready, you can go into downward dog, pedal those feet, try to look with the head. Have your gaze towards the navel as you lift the hips up high. Look towards that belly button, pull the abs in, and just take a moment to really enjoy this stretch. You can drop one heel and then the other. Good. Take a big inhale and exhale. Really good. All right, we're going to take a little mini flow here. I want you to come into your plank pose. Top of the push-up, drop those hips down, and now lower down to the belly. Have the hands wide like a starfish as you reach up for a very gentle back bend here. Arms can be bent or straight. Really good. Drop it down. And one more time, we're going to go into downward dog. Pedal out those feet. Let everything settle. And find your plank pose. Lower down. And gentle back bend. Good. And then we'll come back to child's pose. All right, we're going to do just a little gentle flow here, utilizing our blocks now. So we're going to make our way up to standing with just a couple things before we get there. So let's go ahead, back to all fours. Have your blocks on either side of your mat within reaching distance. From all fours, I invite you to step your right leg forward into a lunge. You can place your hands on the block. Good, on your blocks. And we're just going to play around a little bit with this lunge with our knee down and straightening our leg back. Yeah, so we're just going to be moving forward and back here. I can show you from the front, but you get the hang of it. So you're here, you're going to place your hand on the block, shift the hips forward to get that lovely stretch in your hip, and then shift the hips back. Try to straighten your leg, lift the toes off of the mat. Big inhale, exhale. Let's do this a few more times. And I want you to find your rhythm and pace with this. Big inhale, exhale. So even if you have the hip flexibility to do this without blocks, blocks can be nice because they bring the chest up higher. So you can focus a little more directly on the hip. It gives you a little more freedom and range of movement in between the poses. You're not quite as compressed. So let's go ahead and come forward and back a few more times. Again, be mindful of your knee. So we'll shift the hips back, lift the toes. Big inhale, lower down. Last time, shift those hips back. And forward. Good. From here, before we do the left side with this, we're going to come up to standing for just a moment. So I want you to tuck those back toes under, lift that knee off of your mat. Now from here, I want you to ground down that back heel. So we were here with the heel up, drop it down, and then come up to warrior one. Good. From here, we're just going to go into warrior two. Good. And I'll face you. So we're here, out to the side. Good, turn those toes out slightly. From here, we're going to go into side angle, just a nice little stretch. Other arm up, reverse warrior. And let's find our Trikonasana triangle pose. One hand down, one hand up. For my more experienced yogis, I like to add just once in a while a different variation. So you can hang out here in your triangle pose, or if you'd like, a block is a great tool for this. Place the block right by your toes and see if you can start to lift that back leg. For half moon. Good. So you walk those hands forward, bend the knee, and then lift the back leg. Good. So this is a more active pose. Don't feel like you have to do it. You can always start down lower, both hands on your block or surface, and work your way up. Go ahead and find your triangle pose one more time, keeping the blocks handy. Good. Awesome. And then bring that hand down, all the way down, a little windmill back to a lunge, and then let's drop it back, like pose. Take a little vinyasa here. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, downward dog, and then we'll do this little baby flow to the other side. Pedal out this beat. Shake your head, no tension. Awesome. All right, let's come down to tabletop. Have your blocks handy once more. And now let's step our left foot forward. Place your hands on the blocks. Good. And once more, see if this works for you. We're going to shift the hips forward and back. Shift them back. Really nice. A few more times. Shift forward and back. Forward, go at your speed, and back. Shift forward, really stretching those hips. And shift back, and last time. Big inhale, let it go. Shift those hips forward and back. Really nice. All right, we're going to come up for that very short flow segment. So let's go ahead and keep your blocks handy. You may have to move them if you use them for triangle pose. So just keep them handy. From here, drop, lift that knee up. Good, and then ground that heel down and big inhale, come up to your warrior one. Good. Right away, let's turn that toe out, find your warrior two, bend that front knee. Big inhale, side angle when you're ready. And exhale, reverse your warrior. All right, and then let's try that triangle pose. Straighten the front leg, one hand down, one hand up. Look towards that hand. And then hang out here, enjoying this wonderful, intense stretch. Or grab your block if you'd like. Bend your knees slightly and walk the hands maybe 6 inches forward. Lift the back leg, straighten the front leg. Half moon balance. Again, this is more active pose. So if you're just not feeling it today, hang out in triangle pose or any pose that is right for you. Reach. And start to come back down, back to your triangle pose. Really good. Spiral everything down. And last time, let's take our gentle flow here, coming to plank, lower down. Inhale, reach. Exhale. This time, let's come to child's pose. Come on back. Great. Let's go ahead while we're here relaxing. Let's start to make our way up to all fours one last time, and we'll do a really wonderful restorative pose, thread the needle. So you can use your block, and I'll show you how for this. So if you know thread the needle and you love it, go right in. We're going to take our right hand out, thread it through to the left, and rest our shoulder and head on the mat. I'll show you this way and from the front. So start to find your thread the needle. And if you'd like, for a little modification here, you can take your block, set it down low, and rest the head on the block here. You still get that lovely opening between the shoulder blades, but a little bit less inversion here. For some folks, this is a little more comfortable. Let's go ahead and unwind from that thread the needle and go directly into the left side. So you can keep your block handy if you'd like to use it today. Left arm up, thread it through and rest your head down on the floor or block. Good, take one more breath there. Relax into your thread the needle. And then slowly come up. I'm going to encourage you at this time to come out to seated, legs out in front. Take that pressure off the knees. You can move your feet, little windshield wipers. And then from here, if you'd like to try staff pose with a block today, sometimes it's a nice way to relax the upper body down, kind of have a point of contact. I'm going to invite you to place it between the knees, though you can adjust as needed. Flex your feet, bring your arms up, and then fold forward to your comfort level. Perhaps you touch the toes, perhaps not. And just kind of reach and extend out. And then once you find that point of resistance where you're like, this is where I want to hang out, relax it forward. And this is where you could have a block, maybe stack your hands on top and rest your head down. You can even, if your legs are super tight, maybe do two and just make a cushion. All right, so play around with that. I'll show you from the side. After this, we're going to go to our backs. Good. So you come out straight back, and then when you find that point where you'd like to just hold it for a moment, it shouldn't be excruciating, anything like that, then you can soften into it. Take 2 breaths here. Good. All right, let's go ahead and start to slowly come up. Good. And our very last pose for today before we go into our Shavasana is supported bridge. And this one is one of my ultimate favorites to use with the block. So you're going to take 1 or 2 blocks and place them under the sacrum, the low back here. It takes a moment to adjust. You can have them low, you can have one high. I typically like to do 1 or 2 at the lower setting versus high behind my back. So what you're going to do is, usually I find it easiest to find your bridge first. So you're going to lift your hips up, feet are close to the hips, and then you're going to stick 1 or 2 blocks right at that low back. There we go. We'll just do 1 from each day. So play around with it. You don't have to have the hips super high unless that feels good on your body. And I'm just going to invite you for a few moments to relax here at supported bridge. If this doesn't feel right for your body, please come into Shavasana. We'll be there in just a moment. Big inhale and exhale. Good. So I invite you to relax here for just maybe 3 or 4 more breaths, or go right into Shavasana. Use your own inner wisdom to find what works best for you. Let go. Breathe deeply, perhaps 2 or 3 more times, going back to that counting of the breath. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Follow the breath for just a few more breaths. When you're ready, slowly, slowly remove all equipment, roll onto the side, and start to make your way back to a comfortable seated position. If your eyes were closed, I invite you to open them at this time, and we'll conclude our Yoga Restore session by drawing in a big, clean, deep breath. Bring the palms together at our heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and are able to go with the flow. Thank you. Namaste.